My dear friends, welcome to Rajashekar classes on applied data science with Python. This is lecture number 461. In this lecture, we will try to understand data science or machine learning project life cycle. In this video, we will understand how a real world data science or machine learning project is handled end to end. We will understand the full life cycle of the project from start to very end. So let's go step by step so that you will get a better idea of how in the real world machine learning project is managed. If you are working employee, you might have already heard of software development life cycle in subjects like software engineering, very similar to SDLC, where we learn how a piece of software or software engineering project is developed. There are some guidelines around how a data science or machine learning project needs to be understood and solved end to end. So the first thing, very important thing, is to understand business requirements. This is extremely important. So in this stage, you define what is the problem and understand who is the customer for whom we are building the whole machine learning or data science or deep learning project. Understanding the requirements is super critical. We have 11 steps here. In some companies, all these 11 steps would have to be done by only data science folks. In some companies, you may have program managers, product managers, software engineers who will take up some of these tasks. This is step number one, typically like product managerial product. I can say the step number one is product managerial role, where you would go and talk to all the customers and understand their core problem. It is better for you to understand the business requirements and especially customer. Who is my customer, for whom I am building? What is the value proposition that I am actually providing to the end users? The end user could be a customer internal to the company or external to the company. And remember, in some cases, problem could be very vague. It may need multiple rounds of discussions and understand the problem. I have instances where understanding itself takes weeks of time because we don't want to solve the wrong problem. It depends on the context to context, and all 11 steps we mentioned may or may not be there in every problem. There might be projects where the business requirements are extremely clear. You don't have to again go back and talk to everybody explicitly there. Again, the amount of effort that we need to spend in each stage of the life cycle could differ from project to project, team to team, even company to company, etc. But these are general guidelines. Once you understand the business requirements, the next very important stage is acquiring the data or data acquisition. This is stage 2, that is step 2. This acquisition stage is typically done using ETL queries. I can say ETL means ETL queries. ETL stands for extract, transform and load. These are the three steps that we typically perform in acquiring data, and most popular tool used for data acquisition is SQL. It's a very popular tool. Your data may be sitting in databases like Oracle database or MySQL databases or data warehouses. It could be bunch of log files. It could be bunch of log files sitting on bunch of servers, or very recently lot of data is sitting on Hadoop and Spark clusters. So your data may be in various places. SQL is a very popular tool to extract data, so it's used for extracting, transforming, and loading data. Most databases and data warehouses and distributed system platforms, Hadoop and Spark, have SQL like languages or SQL itself to process the data. If you have raw data, if you have raw log files, you might have built your own Python code to extract these log files and process them. The next stage is called data preparation stage. That is stage number 3, or I can say step number 3. So now you understand the business problem in step 1, and you acquire the data in step 2. Again, data acquisition could take lots of time. First we have to understand where the data is, whether it is in data warehouse, whether they are in bunch of log files, understanding where the data is, running lots of complex SQL queries and obtain all these data into one box or one set of boxes. It may take couple of months, as we have to talk to teams who own this data and try to understand what is the format of the data in the data warehouse or in database table. That again could take considerable amount of time. Of course, in some cases all the data may be sitting in just a simple database file or in no SQL database, isn't it? For data acquisition, you could have data engineers. You might have data engineers in your team who could help you in this process, and they are very, very good with SQL. The third step is called data preparation. Now, you know the business problem in step 1, and you have all the data that you need in step 2. Now you need to go ahead and clean up all the data and perform pre-processing. That is step number 3. And featureization of the pre-processing and featureization of the data. In our case studies, we spent a lot of time in understanding business problem and who is the customer. Data preparation is where actually data scientist works. We end up cleaning the data and pre-processing the data. Next comes your exploratory data analysis stage. Since you got the data and you prepared the data, you start plotting the data, isn't it? Plotting the data, visualizing the data using multiple visualization techniques, and also we use tools in statistics like hypothesis testing. At the end of the day, you slice and dice the data. You break up the data into multiple ways and try to understand what is happening, which feature is helping you to obtain the goal that you are trying to solve for a customer. The amount of time depends on the team to team and product to product. The next thing is modeling, evaluation, and interpretation. All of your classification, regression, deep learning models, your clustering models, all of them is just comes under modeling. I will continue my discussion in my next lecture, that is in lecture number 462. Thank you very much.